Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this next installment of Child Life in Action COVID-19. I'm Megan Roloff, the Director of Member Engagement and Partnerships for ACLP, and today I am thrilled to be joined by Katie and Eileen from Child Life Disaster Relief. As those of you that have been following this series know, this is our interview series where we're talking with child life specialists that are tackling our current situation in unique and innovative ways. So I'm really excited to introduce you all to Katie and Eileen. Katie, can you introduce yourself?
Yes, I am Katie Nees, Director of Child Life Disaster Relief. And Child Life Disaster Relief is an organization that's, we became a 501c3, in 2016. But the idea started in 2010 after the Haiti earthquake, and just sort of digging into what's being done for kids in the coping arena after disasters. And we didn't set out to start an organization, but that's what ended up seeming like that was the need. We found a need and our skill set fit, and we jumped on in. So it's been a wild ride ever since. And the current pandemic has not been an unusual situation for us, only in the sense of all of it has been unusual. So we have been just riding this wave of learning as we go, and COVID-19 has been right along with that.
Great. And Eileen?
Yeah, I've been a part of CLDR for about 3 years now, but I just did my first deployment back in October to the Bahamas, and was a changed person after that. So I'm really feeling at home, kind of in the chaos and the finding, again, what we were saying earlier, like where those gaps are and how we can be of service. But for 5 years now. And yeah, just excited to be working in the community.
Great. So, you've told us a little bit about CLDR, but can you maybe just go into a little bit more detail for those that aren't familiar with your organization, what kind of work you all were doing before the pandemic started?
Yeah, we started out partnering with organizations that are doing great work and recruiting and sending child life specialists to be a part of that work, to use their play-based skills to work directly with kids after disaster. And that's been really powerful. From that, in the networks that we've built, we have been invited to jump in as an independent organization for other opportunities. So Eileen mentioned the Bahamas deployment a second ago, and that was one deployment that was independent of another organization. It was us and some physician partners that joined up and worked with the Bahamas Ministry of Health, and were able to send child life specialists out there to provide amazing services for the kids, specifically targeting psychosocial care and coping. So since then, we have had other similar opportunities, sent people to Puerto Rico in the same sort of idea, and also have started a psychosocial first responder type of idea around local teams throughout the U.S. That's something we've been working on for quite a while, and it's been an ongoing process of building networks and connections in local cities around the U.S. Responders, child life responders that are able to go when called. And it's been an exciting opportunity to use our skills in ways that we wouldn't have necessarily thought of initially. So it's been great.
That's fantastic, and quite the evolution you've had.
Yeah.
Just in thinking about this pandemic and how it's really changed the way a lot of people are going about their everyday lives, maybe not in the same sense of, kind of what we traditionally think of as disasters, your hurricanes, tornadoes, those types of things, but it's having a similar impact on people's, kind of day to day and how they're coping. I'm curious if, you guys are coming from more of a disaster relief standpoint, are you seeing that kind of transfer of, the way you would approach children and families in a disaster scenario? Is that similar to how you're approaching children and families now in this pandemic?
It is. Eileen, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I would say yes, absolutely. There are universal stressors, loss of routine, the instability, the transfer of stress from the news and from parents and family members. There's also just a lot of fear of the unknown and the fear of what's already been seen and heard in the news. So we're absolutely coming from this lens of trying to mitigate that stress and using children's own language to communicate with them. So that's.
Yeah. It took us a minute, I would say, as well as I think the rest of the world, with everyone's just kind of jarred a little bit, to then be like, okay, so how does this work and how do we fit in? And over a couple weeks, we came up with some ideas. And honestly, as is the case with this entire 10 years of from idea to programming, the rallying around of child life specialists for this type of work has really been what's propelled it to where it is. So that's what we saw with this initiative too, is the child life specialists that were saying, please, let me help, let me jump in and do what I can for these kids and use my skill set to be able to help right now. I mean, it's amazing. It's more than I shouldn't be shocked, but I am every time, because it's just overwhelming how many people are jumping on board and wanting to use their skills in times of need in a really relevant way. And such an honor to be able to find ways to coordinate that desire. It's been so exciting, such a fun ride.
We've been experiencing a very similar, kind of outpouring of, let me share my skills, let me share these resources, let me share what I've learned within the child life community as well over the last month and a half at this point. And we've always known child life specialists are like that. You don't end up in this field unless you've got that, kind of caring, nurturing, give back, supportive piece, and the creativity as well. But it's really been incredible to kind of see the whole field rally around, like, okay, this is something that's affecting all of us at the same time right now. And I don't know that we've had an event like that where it's affecting the entire profession. Maybe not at the exact same way at the exact same time, but it is affecting the entire profession right now. And it doesn't matter where in the US or if you're in a different country, it's affecting everyone. And to see that kind of camaraderie is really incredible. And, from the ACLP staff side of things, it's been blowing us away as well. So part of why we wanted to talk to you guys today is that you started a new program to support children and families during this pandemic. And you've alluded to it a little bit, but can you share a little bit more about that program and how it works?
Talking about coping through connections.
Yes.
So the way, Katie, do you want me to?
Yeah, jump on in.
The way that we've approached coping through connections, after a lot of Zoom conversations and focus groups and tapping into our different communities to start trying to assess and identify some needs, it's still ongoing. Like, it's an ongoing assessment. We're still refining things, seeing what works and what needs to be adjusted. But the scope of it really is to create these interactive virtual connection sessions where kids and adults, we have several different target groups, can all come together and start to normalize their experiences by sharing what's been hard for them, what works for them. We're providing some resources and tools for parents and caregivers and teachers about how kids respond to stress, and again, like the language of children, what different behaviors mean in times of trauma. And then the really cool thing to see in action is the kids themselves. It's been seeing the kids in these interactive Zoom rooms, connecting with each other, laughing, joking, creating music and art together. And one little girl on her own mentioned it as a virtual, or not virtual, she said a play date. So that's been really cool to see that come to life. Virtual playrooms, virtual teen lounges, especially for teens that are missing graduation festivities. So that's kind of the broad explanation of coping through connections.
And we know too, we're not the only ones doing this. There's so many groups and organizations doing similar great stuff. It's been exciting to see so many people and organizations really jumping into meeting this need. But it's been, like I said, very encouraging having so many child life specialists saying, yes, I will facilitate a group. We have several facilitators, child life specialists for each group. The idea around that is that if there's more kids or there's certain needs and stuff where a breakout room would be helpful, we can split 2 facilitators for each breakout room. So we've got some flexibility kind of built into the system. One of the most exciting things for me too is the fact that we have groups for special needs, both verbal kids and nonverbal. And we have had numerous child life specialists jump on board and say, yes, that's the group I want to spend my time working with, knowing that that's an area and a group that maybe isn't getting as many services.
Right.
And so that's an area of need that we are thrilled to be able to jump into.
Yeah, it's been really awesome seeing these groups come to life and how kids are responding and interacting. And it makes you feel like, wow, this is what they need. This is what we all need right now. These connection.
So, I mean, group facilitation, that's a pretty natural part of what we do as child life specialists. But I'm curious if you can tell us a little bit more about how that then works in, a Zoom meeting like this, when you've got a group of kids, and how many kids are you having in these sessions?
Anywhere from, now this is only day 4. Okay. So
it's early days.
It's been building up, but we're in the very early stages. Anywhere, I think, from 2 to 9 so far on day 4 of not really even getting the word out extremely, we just started. So we're hoping that we're expecting to see some of the numbers grow. And we're also, working on changing some of the times, and we're working with all 3 time zones. So the whole thing has so many moving parts, but it looks like kind of what we're doing. But when working with kids, you obviously have to adjust. You have to work on that mute button. We have to come up with some hand signals for, thumbs up, thumbs down. And it's just, we have one outline of how the bell curve of the session would look like with beginning of intro activity, icebreakers, and then some big interactive activity or 2 or 3, a game, down to a closing. So we kind of have a general outline, and then we tailor it specifically and really let the kids lead, and they are leading.
Yeah. And Eileen has been an awesome resource for the facilitators to figure that out, because we're all learning this, right?
Right.
Jumping in and trying to use our skills in a virtual space is just foreign to a lot of us. And Eileen has had some experience in that area already. And so she's been able to lead this initiative and offer some guidance to the facilitators. But honestly, most of these facilitators, the way they're jumping in head first and just running with it and trusting their skills as they go has been mind-blowing for me. I haven't facilitated a group, and I'm honestly a little bit nervous to do that. And I'm seeing them, and I'm seeing them just full force jumping in, embracing it for what it is, learning from it and moving on to the next group. And they're relying on Eileen to get some tips and the outline Eileen has created and some suggested activities, and it's been awesome.
So Eileen, would you be willing to share a few tips for group facilitation and kind of this more online format? I think that's something that a lot of people are trying to figure out, maybe not in a formal program like this, but even just trying. I think those group connections, when I remember thinking back to when I was working in the hospital, getting those kids together, that was when the gold happened. It wasn't anything I did.
Yeah, right.
It was just getting them all in the same room and letting them do it themselves. And those
Exactly.
opportunities are so tough right now.
Yeah, that's the same thing. Just getting these kids to get into a Zoom room. That's when the magic happens and the kids come up with all the gold, like you said, all the ideas and how to steer things. It's a lot of kind of pretending like you're actually in the room with them, so here's a really good tip. You come really close to the camera and whoever you're trying to talk to, you get their attention. And I think something registers where they think you're actually looking at them because you come so close to the camera and say, okay, Katie, okay. And you try to bring in the attention by looking at the camera and coming closer. That creates kind of a difference on the screen too. You want to think about how YouTube videos are really engaging. So you want to kind of be a little extra with your energy, a little extra with your personality, and have a lot of things on hand to snap them back into attention, whether or not you can play a ukulele or, grab your mask and then we start talking. The point is to keep it really dynamic and really versatile in the moment and keep their attention. We're not teachers. That's a whole other ballgame of how teachers are managing their classrooms. Yeah. And we've done a lot of research too to see how they're doing it. Lots of hand signals too, so you don't have everyone talking all at once. But in the child life setting, because we're not really trying as much to teach, it's important to have distractors and things to bring people back on task. That's for the little kids. The older kids, you'd be surprised. They are more natural at this than we are. They are very comfortable. And it kind of takes the pressure off once you see how comfortable all the kids are and the teens. You realize that you could take some pressure off yourself. So...
Well, that's fantastic. I love that idea of like getting in close. It does make a lot of sense. And especially, I mean, we're doing our staff meetings this way. So you just have all your little, Brady Bunch boxes of people. And yeah, if someone came in close and all of a sudden their face was huge, I would definitely, definitely grab my attention.
Exactly. Yeah, good. I'm glad that translated.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I love that. So, I mean, how does this work if people that are watching this know of some kids that would benefit from this type of group activity? How do they get involved? Do they need to make a referral to you guys? How does it go?
Katie, you want to?
Yeah, I would say the easiest way is through our website or social media. They can get to the registration link. There's also, of course, more information about who we are as child life specialists for those that are still learning about what that role is. And also what the goals are, what the intentions are behind this group, so that we're really clear up front. We have a little statement at the bottom that we are not mental health professionals and that we recommend that parents, if they have concerns, that they contact a mental health professional about those specific concerns. So we're trying to be really clear about what our scope is here and what we're doing. What we are doing, we know is powerful. I mean, the bringing kids together, helping them to make connections, helping them to process, doing little things to kind of guide the conversation toward what's concerning to them, what their fears are, what their hopes are, and finding ways, small ways to help facilitate the stuff that they're already eager and hungry to talk about. That has been very much a natural thing for child life specialists, of course, and very beneficial right now. So we try to make it really clear on the information on our website and social media about what this is, and a registration link as well, so that parents can, or whoever, can sign up kids, and from there get the login information to join the groups in the schedule.
Well, this is fantastic. I so appreciate you both making the time to speak with me today about this, to share just more about your program and this particular program, as sharing some of the tips about virtual facilitation. I hope that this is helpful for the rest of the child life community. And we'll see. Maybe you guys will get some more kids coming your way from this. But thank you again. Just always appreciate. We've got an incredible child life community, and when people take the time to share their talents and expertise, it means the world. So
yeah, it's a time for us to be really proud of being child life specialists, I think. With how everybody's rallying together. And like I said, we're not the only ones doing this. There are so many people stepping up, providing amazing services in creative ways. And I'm just really proud of our profession right now and happy to be a part of it.
Fantastic. Well, thank you again. And to everyone else, we will see you for the next Child Life in Action.
Thanks.